Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 4th. It is 6:22 right now. We got market opening up in about 8 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a few things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Oh, there. Looks like we are good to go. So as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. On down to the 8 hour. On down to the 4 hour. On down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15 minute. Down to the 10 minute. And back down to the 1 minute here. All right, looks like we're good. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 4th. It is 6:25 right now. We have market opening up in about 5 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here for you guys. Closest level of liquidity above is at 44,492. This is probably going to get hit here pre-market. So, I mean, I wouldn't really pay too much attention to this specific zone unless you're looking to take it as liquidity. Lower target right here is probably going to get hit as well at 44,474. We got lower levels right here, and some upper levels right here and right here. So this one right here just got hit, like I mentioned. This lower one's probably going to get hit too as market kind of moves along. So, all right, guys, we got market opening up in about 4 minutes. Looking over here at the market structure bias chart. So go over here to the 15 minute candle, mark up market close from yesterday, close high, closed low. So it looks like we have market structure bias here. So we'll try to see if price stays below this point. This will identify that market structure is moving efficiently. Otherwise, it's probably gonna be stuck in a limbo as price kind of sits back where the market structure was yesterday. So see what happens here. We got market opening up in about 2 seconds. I'm sorry, not 2 seconds, 2 minutes. We got market opening up in about 2 minutes. See if there's any structures here that we should identify. We got a resistance right here. Support right here. All right, liquidity right here got knocked out. I'll take that off. I'll put liquidity right here. It looks like the breakout for today is going to be a buy, guys. I'm still sitting out on the breakout until we find some consistency with the movement. Last week was actually pretty good. Yesterday wasn't so great because we had that choppiness from the market movement. And obviously we'll see what happens today if the market continues to move in direction. So the breakout for today is going to be a buy, guys. I'll follow it for you guys, not taking it on my accounts, but I will be following it for you guys. So buy for the breakout today. Liquidity right here got knocked out. So pretty much a lot of this liquidity got knocked out. This one here got knocked out too. It's moving up to this upper level. If this candle is too big, guys, you guys know what to do. You guys are supposed to flip it. Candle looks okay for now. We got market opening up in about 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Market is open. So this here was a little bit of a big candle, guys. So this should have been flipped, I believe. It's about a 60-point candle right here, 629 candle. So typically we would flip this move. If you guys don't want to flip it, you can just wait for it to swing back up. So instead of entering it right away, I would wait for it here to swing back up and then enter for a late entry for a buy. You can put like a buy limit right there. Otherwise, this candle here was a little big at 629. So whenever the candle is huge like that, typically we flip it the other way. If it's above 50, that's usually the threshold, which obviously it was. So this here would have been flipped the other way to a sell instead of a buy. Initially it was a buy, and then it flipped down to a sell because the candle right here was just way too big. Ideally, if the back candle is too big like that, it usually flips the other way. Hit 50 points right here. See, this is again another reason why I'm kind of holding off on these breakouts, because the problem with these breakouts is that you start to get a lot of this unusual price movement. Looking over here at the market structure bias, like I said, we want price to stay below this box here, this pink box. So if this is the case and price stays below here, that's going to be fine. We'll probably look for some entries for a sell. Looking over here, this liquidity pretty much got knocked out. This one got knocked out as well. And we have a new level of liquidity right there. So these are the two levels of liquidity right now. This one's probably going to get hit here. I'm going to mark up opening price. So we got opening price right here. New York Open. I believe we have news today. So we have Joel's shop openings at 7 o'clock. Then we have low impact news at 7:10. So 7 o'clock, Joel's job openings is going to indicate how many jobs are open or how many jobs have been offered for this month. or the following month into this month, basically. Looking at price right here, we don't really have much of a direction. Price is going back and forth. Here's a clean chart. I'm gonna mark up the level right there. Level right there. Level right there. Hey, Seth, morning. Morning, Lamar. Morning, Brock. Morning, Maria. Morning, CJ. Morning, Lila. Morning, Christian. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So looking at the chart here, I mean, there's not very much direction, as you guys can see. A lot of back and forth whipsaw movement. Going back to the breakout over here, the breakout did hit 50 points. If you guys want to pull out for profit here, move your stop loss in profit to the 50-point mark, you can. Initially, the entry here was for a buy, guys, but because the candle prior to open was too big, it was an extremely large candle, the position was supposed to be flipped the other way. I know some of you guys might have forgotten about that. This happened a lot last year around September. So during September, we had a lot of movements like this where the 629 candle was just super, super big. It was overextended, and we ended up just flipping it the other way. So we'll kind of see where this ends up going. I mean, looking at current price right now, I'm trying to figure out the direction of price. Looking at the time and sales, let me see who's in control right now. Looks like mostly buyers here. So there's a lot of buyers in the market right now. Bigger orders are coming from the buy side. It looks like the sellers are either taking profit or the buyers are coming back into control here. One or the other. So let me kind of see who is in control here. It's really hard to tell at this point because this big spike of a candle to the downside. So looking at this here, I'm probably going to mark it up from this point right here. So I'll try to mark up some zones here, pre-market. The sellers were in control here. You can see how price came down. We had an engulfing candle here. Then over here, we had buyers in control because price started pushing up. We had an engulfing candle right here. Price action just pointing towards the upside. And then we didn't really have sellers get in control here. I mean, not yet. So price for the most part looks like it is consolidating around this area, or not really consolidating. It's more so ranging because the range is so big. So there's a big range right here between the 44,550 and the 44,450. The midpoint right here is going to be the 500 mark. So this is kind of where price is pulling to as a magnet. But it looks like the buyers are still in control here until I see some sort of reversal pattern to the sell side. Then I'll identify the sellers in control from this upper point. But until then, we still have the buyers here in control. This here looks like it might be an engulfing candle to the upside. There is a double body rejection here. It's not a V1 variation, but it is a double body rejection right here. So if this is a double body rejection and this candle is bigger than this one, which it engulfs, then this will be a reversal pattern to the upside. If we don't get that, then we just have price in limbo over here. This is more of a consolidation area where price kind of just goes back and forth within the zone. So again, we have these two zones right here. Price is kind of just sitting down the middle point. So this candle did not close green, was not engulfing. We don't necessarily have the buyers in full control here because price is still coming down as retracement. You can see price pushed up here, retraced down super hard, but I wouldn't say this is a full-on reversal just yet. Price is really just going back and forth between this area. So I would be waiting for confirmation here. Yeah, Christian said opening price, red flag also. Yeah, I agree. All right, so we kind of want price to push away from where it's currently sitting, right? It's currently sitting right here at the middle, like I said, at the 500 price point. We want price to push away, whether it is above or below, it doesn't really matter. We just want price to push out of this area so that we can start looking for some buys, or push below this area so we can start looking for some sells, right? So just be patient, guys. I mean, you guys got to remember it's NFP week, right? Here's the SR chart. You guys can see the manipulation happening right here. This consolidation range zone has been ranging for quite some time. So price has been ranging within this area since 4 a.m. this morning. So about 2 hours ago, price started this range. There was just manipulation up here on open, price spiked up and it came back down, but now it's back into the range. So see how it comes back into this middle area right here? It's like price never really went anywhere. It just went up here to basically lure in some buyers, fake them out, come back in, and it's back to where it was earlier. So again, we just want to have some sort of confirmation, right? We want price to break out of this middle area. So we can look for some buys or break below this area so we can look for some sells. So we have multiple analysis here. We have the support and resistance analysis right here. These are all support and resistance zones using the SRV2 indicator. This is a clean chart using the levels indicator. We just have the 550, 450, middle point, 500 right here. This is a clean chart analysis. Same thing, price is still ranging, consolidating within this middle area. Looking over here, this is our main chart. We're trying to confirm that the sellers are in control from this point up here, but we just don't have any reversal confirmations. So I mean, realistically, it's just consolidating. So until we have some sort of confirmation here, I'm not really gonna put a red bar there, at least not yet. So we're still technically looking for buys here at this point. The buyers are still technically in control. The reason for that is because the price action here indicates that the buyers are still in control. There hasn't been a reversal pattern yet. We just had this big whipsaw. So the buyers have been in control here since 620. We had an engulfing candle here. You can see it was a red candle. This candle engulfed it. It was a sharp, strong green candle. Price pushed up. Then we had this fake out right here. And then from here, we just don't have any reversal patterns. I'm looking for a reversal to the downside or a reversal to the upside. It doesn't matter which direction. But once I have that confirmation, I can start looking for trades in that specific direction. We also don't even have a momentum signal yet, right? This is the first sell momentum here. This could be the first criteria for the reversal to the downside, but we don't even have that yet. So I'm still gonna list this as buyers in control until we have some sort of confirmation that price either pushes up higher or if it reverses to the downside. So again, guys, just be patient. Don't force anything here. You know, there's nothing to take here anyways. I don't know what you guys would pull within this area. I mean, if you want to trade the bounces off the support resistance, you guys technically can. But as you guys can see here, there's not really much to work with, right? This isn't like the ideal place to be taking trades. Because you can take a sell here, you can still get stopped out. You can take a buy here, you can also get stopped out. It's kind of just sitting right here in limbo. We have news at 7 o'clock, so you know, I don't know if that's what price is waiting for some sort of catalyst to push price somewhere. But looking at the news for today, so Joel's job openings is forecasted to be negative. Or I mean, I guess it could be neutral. The forecast doesn't really matter, right? Because you can forecast one thing and it'll come up completely opposite. So I wouldn't really care too much about the forecast. I would just kind of wait for it here to play through. But looking over here, Joel's job quits are up. Factory orders are up. Joel's job openings technically down. And factory orders down as well. So it looks like a mixed forecast of news events. Not really too much to really use there. So looking over here at the bias again, like we mentioned earlier, guys, the bias right now. So the trend bias right now is looking bullish. Looking at the trend bias here, if you can see this green, basically this green line, when the green line is above the red line, it indicates that we're in a bullish bias. If it's below it, it means we're in a bearish bias. So like ideally right here, price is kind of moving inefficiently because it's within this box, right? The reason why it's moving inefficiently is because this box indicates that this is where price closed yesterday. So yesterday's close was right here. Yesterday's close. And this is yesterday's high. And then we have yesterday's close low right here. So like basically we want price to be below this area. And then we want this here, this bias here to close below it as well. Or to basically swing below it. So we'd be if we want to take sells here, ideally the best case scenario is going to be down here, away from this box. And price is finally down below this area. We had a sell signal here close. There's still no confirmation with price action regarding the push to the downside. This here is an engulfing green candle, so this might just indicate that the buyers are still in control. So see this right here, this is a huge green candle. The buyers have been in control since. Looks like it's trying to get back into control right here. I'm looking at the time in sales, check the bigger orders. Yeah, a lot of big buy orders have been coming in since 6:40, 6:39. So about 5 minutes ago, these buy orders started flooding in. Okay, so at this point right here, this still indicates that the buyers are in control at this point because we had two engulfing candles at this point now. We have one right here, and we had another one right here. So this is showing that the buyers are still in control. This is going to be tricky because this right here, if this closes red, this is going to be a double body reversal, right? This is going to be a V1 variation. So there's like two different things here. You just want to look at the price action. See this here, if this here closes red, this is going to be a reversal pattern to the opposite side. So we had a reversal pattern to the upside, now a reversal pattern to the downside. So this here is going to be kind of the deciding factor of like where price may likely go, however this candle closes. Okay, so this did not close red. Now it looks like the buyers are back in control here and they're starting to push price to the upside. Again, we have another reversal pattern here possibly setting up. So just be careful with your entries, guys, because these reversals can come in both directions. We had engulfing. This here is another double body rejection that may close. So the buyers are having trouble keeping in control. They're pushing price up, but they're not having a lot of luck just keeping in control here. Looking at the market flow over here, so this is the order flow. Big buys in control here, and then the sellers are starting to kind of push price back down. I mean, it's a very choppy movement here right now. Price is currently at the resistance, so it's having trouble getting past this area. Again, kind of just focus on like what's happening here on this chart around these specific candles. Okay, so right here, the candle did not close red. It's more of a doji candle. This could start to set up for your entry, Barack. MPS V2. I mean, if this candle would have closed red, it would have set up for the entry, but I guess we'll kind of see here. The problem if price gets too high is that we're going to be at this red flag, right? It's going to be a bit of an issue. So we don't want it to push too high. But you can see here these huge wicks, right? Price is having trouble pushing up. It wants to push up. The buyers are trying to push price up higher. But every time it pushes price up higher, the sellers come back and they knock it right back down. Yeah, exactly. Brock said, should we stay away because of the news coming in now? Yeah, and we're getting a little close to the news too, Brock. So I think right now is probably a good time to just maybe sit out for a little bit. I mean, it's not looking like we're getting an entry here now, right? So I don't think it would matter too much. We're still stuck in this consolidation area. So it doesn't really matter too much. Looks like the setup here is not going to come up, Brock, so it's all good. Yeah, what we were looking for here for the MPS V2 guys is we were looking for price to push up, retrace, come back up higher. And then when price came up to this point, we would have taken our entry right there. But it's all good. Like I said, this is NFP week. If you guys sat in on the session yesterday, we talked about this. It's, you should expect this in the market. For NFP week, it's either going to be a good week, a bad week, or a choppy week. For the choppy week, it'll typically be choppy for like maybe the first 2 days, first 2-3 days, and then the last 2 days or the last 3 days are going to be a lot better. So it's just from experience. We've traded so many NFP weeks. I think I've been trading live with you guys for about 8 years now. So we've done how many NFPs? It's a lot of NFPs. If you do the math, that's like, so 12 times 8. I've done basically 96 NFPs with you guys. So it all comes with the experience and chart time, guys. If you guys have traded NFP weeks, it's the first week of every month. Every year we do about 12 NFPs. We understand how the market moves, right? And we know it from the stats too. If you look at our trading stats, it'll usually tell you like the first week. It's either going to be a really good one where we make a lot of profit, we have a couple losses, or it's a choppy one where it's like break even. So Sam said candles look like penny stocks. PC said consolidation trades are the highest probability trades if you know what you're doing. Yeah, I agree with you, PC. I used to trade consolidation moves all the time, right? We would trade V1 variations basically at the bottoms and the tops because we would get that consolidation move. We get a V1 like a double body, double wick rejection, and we would just take it up with like little to no drawdowns. But the thing with this here is that there's just the choppiness. Like I wouldn't even consider this like clean consolidation. This is more so just super choppy, right? Here, I'll draw some zones here. You guys can have an idea. I consider this just like super, super choppy. I don't even consider this regular consolidation because the wicks are so big. They're not like clean rejections off the ends. If there were clean rejections, then it'd be a lot easier to see things. But for the most part, it's easy to get wicked out from here. So let me mark this up right here, and then I'll mark this up there. So, I mean, there is opportunity here, but as you guys can see, it's like not super, super clean. Because the thing is, you can get easily wicked out right here. But you can catch the bounces. Let's see how far these wicks come out. So I guess, yeah, technically you could catch these little bounces here. Like you just have a wider stop loss, like a 20 point or a 30 point stop loss, and go for like 20 or 30 points in the middle. Ideally, I'd look for those double body rejections around these areas. So if we would see some sort of double body rejection, kind of similar to what happened right here, right? Double body rejection. Could have taken that right there for a quick little sell. Yeah, I mean, I used to trade this until the market got super, super choppy. Like when it's a smooth consolidation where it's just kind of respecting the zones, yeah, it's easy to catch these moves. It's just these spikes outside that make it tricky. The ATR is not super high though, so I mean, if your stop loss is 30 points, you should be okay, right? ATR right now is currently 22 points. So as long as your stop loss is wide enough to withstand the whipsaws, I mean, you can make pretty decent profit within this area. Yeah, Christian said, unless I have a double rejection that doesn't touch the opening price, would not consider anything. So it looks like the sellers might be back. They actually are. So let me mark this up. I just realized that there was an engulfing. So the sellers have been in control since this area right here, guys. The reason why I'm saying that is because price is pushed down. So we had a push to the downside right here. And then we also have an engulfing candle right here. See this red candle? It engulfs this green one. So two confirmations right here. Price came down, retraced right here a little bit, and then this right here confirmed that this here engulfs this one, and now it's pushing down lower. So right now the buyers are in control. The target here to reach is going to be the liquidity target down here. We'll see here if price actually continues dropping. If not, it might pull back into the range, right? Possibly another fake out, and then pull back into the range up here. I mean, we'll see what happens. Preferably, I'd like to see price drop lower. It still hasn't hit the target here, so. See, there's a liquidity target up there. And there we go, as price fakes out, pulls right back into the range. It's basically the same market as yesterday. If you guys remember yesterday, we had this happen a lot. Price would fake out, pull back into the range, consolidate further, push above, create a new range up here. Yeah, so back into the range right there, just a small little fake out to the downside. Try to grab liquidity, but it didn't reach far enough. Liquidity was pretty close down there. So here's the good thing. Now that we have two liquidities down here, this is going to be a nice liquidity grab area. So if price does come back down, it's probably going to come down and grab this area of liquidity. Because now there's two levels right there. This is an entry block for the MPS V2, but again, we're really close to news here. It's a little tricky. I don't know if I'd take this one specifically. The thing is, it's a high impact news event. I'm going to hold off on it. It's too close to news, and then this here is not really a clean break. So I think this is going to be a down to the very last second. And it got right to the line, Brock. So this was a very down to the last second type close. I don't like these types of candles. I want to make sure that it's like down here closing. To see how it fakes out right there. Now we have a double body rejection. Now we have a double body rejection here, and the buyers might be back in control. So it's not a V1 variation pattern, but it's a double body. The thing with price action is that it doesn't have to be on a high low. Ideally, you want it to be on a high low, but if this is the case here, I'll draw a line, a green line here. And this is going to indicate that the buyers are back in control at this point. So not much has happened here, guys. As you guys can see, it's back into consolidation, this middle area right here. It's a really messy market. So again, we have the red line over here indicating that sellers were in control for a time being. Then we have the green line right here indicating the buyers were in control. It was more in consolidation. It was just a small push here. The sellers slightly pushed price down. Now the buyers are back in control again. But it's not really a strong control, guys. So, you know, when I say buyers in control, it can be for a couple of minutes, it can be for an hour, it can be for etc. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a very long period. We're just trying to see what our bias would be here with regard to who's in control so that we can start looking for trades in that direction. But if you look over here, it's really just consolidation. So if you look at the bigger picture here, like, yeah, of course, the buyers and sellers can be in control temporarily, but it's really just consolidation here. It's just fake out and then pull back into this consolidation zone. I mean, it's so messy here that I can't even, like, even if I was to take off all my tools, it would still look like a mess, right? Because the wicks are so big and the candles are so big that even though I take my tools off here, it's still super hard to see what's going on. Because price is just going sideways. Let's turn on the liquidity here. So looking at the liquidity over here, there's liquidity on like both sides. I mean, if price pulls down here, there's a ton of targets right here for it to reach. But there's nothing here to work with, guys. I would be careful with any entries you guys decide to take at this moment. We have news over here at 7 o'clock. I think when news comes out, hopefully this is going to be the catalyst to really push price out of this area. But for the most part, you can see here, there's just not much going on. Price is still stuck within this middle point. Let's go to the clean chart so you can see things a little better. So here you can see the consolidation a little cleaner, right? It's still where it was this morning. So I talked about this earlier when market was open. I said we have this big range between the 44,550 and the 44,450. I said this middle point right here is the 44,500 mark, and this is acting as a magnet. So this is kind of what's happening here. Price will push away, and it pulls back to this middle point. This 44,500 is the midpoint. It's kind of just where price is sitting right now. And, you know, like I said, I would just wait because there's not much here to work with, of course. Here's the SR zones, as you guys can see here. For the SRs, it's been respecting the support resistance. So same thing here. It's been kind of just going back and forth, back and forth. Again, this support resistance has been established since 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock this morning, price has been consolidating within this area. So this is what I mean about market being inefficient, right? It's not going anywhere. Like, we don't want to trade in, well, I mean, some people want to trade in this type of market, but for me personally, I trade directional strategies. So for me, I need markets to be moving up, right? I need markets to be moving down, right? I don't really trade consolidating entries. You Now I'm kind of curious to see if there's any high-low momentum scalps that came up because the market here is going sideways for a while. It's just such a messy market here. Let's see. No, I don't really see any high-low momentum scalps here. Not quite. I mean, the choppiness is so choppy that the high-low momentum scalps haven't even came up. Okay, so this might be a high-low momentum scalp here. There's no higher high, but there's a lower high there. Sell signals breaking, closing past the pivots. It's back into this area here. All right, let's take it back down a notch. So let's go over here real quick. The breakout is still actually running, guys. If you guys are holding on to the breakout, I just forgot to check on this here. The breakout is still running. It survived basically its consolidation, and it's coming back lower right here. Same with the market structure bias. It's coming below the structure. So like I said earlier, this target here, this is a nice target for it to reach. It's a liquidity grab target, right? Whenever you have liquidity like bunched up against each other like that, this usually indicates that, okay, this is where price wants to go and grab liquidity. We have news in about 2 minutes. All right, so here we go as we pull back into that consolidation zone. Like I said, guys, we're just going to wait here for news to happen at 7. I'm hoping news pushes price out of this area. Kind of see what happens here. So ideally, if this liquidity gets knocked out, the one that's below, it's going to hit the TP for the breakout. But you guys can see here, price is respecting this consolidation zone pretty nicely. We got about 30 seconds till news. Let's take a look at the overall trend bias right now. So the 4-hour here is on the neutral side. 1 hour is bearish. 30-minute is neutral. So the higher time frames here are more so on the neutral side. Lower time frames here also on the neutral side. 10 minutes pretty neutral. 5 minutes neutral. Actually, everything is neutral here. There's no trend bias right now, guys. So looking at this here, price is right at the pivots across all time frames. So let's see what news has in store for us here. All right, we got this closing in about 5 seconds. All right, there goes the news candle right there. Big spike to the upside. Take a look at the time in sales. Yeah, huge spike to the upside right here. A lot of buy orders flooding in. I think this will probably hold above this area. So unless I see a bunch of sell orders, I think this is probably going to hold above. We got some sell orders here coming in. So liquidity right here pretty much got knocked out the upper levels. I'll just adjust this up here. Clean that up. The buyers are in control here with this news candle for sure. Okay, a bunch of sell orders just came in. About 20 sell orders came in right here. The buyers are pushing back though. So it looks like the buyers here are going to hold control on this specific candle. There we go. There's about 20 sell orders coming in. Yeah, they're really fighting for price right now. I'm looking at the time sales. The buyers are back in control here. They're going to push price up, it looks like. Yeah, there we go. Price is pushing up a little bit. So I'm going to let this kind of stabilize. I'm not going to really enter until one side gets in, like, until it confirms the control. And then we'll kind of go from there. So looking at this here, we have 2 confirmations of bullish control. And what I mean by that is we have, so let's move this down real quick. So we have an engulfing right here, right? That's a bullish reversal pattern. And then we have another double body and engulfing right here. So the buyers have been in control here since 6:49. And then this news candle over here also bullish. So another confirmation that the buyers are likely to stay in control here. This is an entry for your strategy right here, Brock, the MPSB2. The only problem again is that this was the actual news candle, or right after it. It was the following candle after news. So this here was an MPSB2. I mean, I wouldn't take it, of course, but that's a setup right there. We had a buy signal here, price retraced down. This candle right here broke and closed, the 701 candle, and then it pushed through. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it, but that was a setup right there. All right, so hopefully we can start looking for entries at this point. So the news here was actually negative, guys. Looking at Joel's job quits, it was positive. Factory orders, negative. Joel's job openings, this is a high impact news event. It was negative here. It was forecasted to be 8 million. It was 7.6. There's less jobs available than expected. And the factory orders here also negative. It was forecasted to be negative 0.7. It was negative 0.9. So that's something to be careful for, because this might be a manipulated reaction. Price might come back down, right? What might happen here is it might come up, bounce off the opening price, come back into the range. So we'll try to find some entries here, but like I said, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to be cautious. No need to force anything here. This is the only setup that I've seen for today that actually came up. Yeah, looking at the entries over here, guys, this is the only actual scalp strap, like the scalp entry that's come up. This is like the only one that I've seen here so far. I mean, other than this one right here. So there was another MPSV2 that happened right here, but this was pre-market. But since market is open, this is the only one that's really come up so far. So look at how price reacts to the opening price right here. Let's take a look at the order flow. Delta is bullish. We'll see if the buyers get trapped around this area. So what you kind of want to see here, if you're looking at order flows, look for the sellers to kind of be in control at this point, right? So have like, and it's projecting off here too. So this point right here, this opening price also lines up with the whole number right here, the 550. So price is rejecting off the 44,550. I don't know if there's any resistance up here. There's also resistance up here as well. So there's resistance over here from the SR chart. It's also rejecting off the whole number there, the 550. And we have opening price here. So there's three different analysis here of rejection points: opening price, whole number, and resistance. Doesn't necessarily mean this is like where price gets stuck, but it's a specific area to look out for. Let's see, Brock said skipped it. He was in some stress to exit a UJ position. Wow, missed it, man. Played out nice. Yeah, I mean, it played out nice, Brock, but it was a candle after news, so I probably wouldn't have messed with it specifically because the buyers are still in control here. They're still pushing price higher. Price is pushing higher, but you can see here that there's like huge wicks on the upside. So this is what makes it very tricky, because the buyers are trying to push price up, but again, right here, this might be a V1 variation back down. So depending on how this candle here closes, if it closes red, we want to keep an eye out for it, because if it does, this is a V1 variation pattern, and the sellers might come back into control here. It doesn't necessarily mean a bunch of sellers are entering the market. What this means here is that the people who made money on these buys here, they're just selling off their position, right? So they made the money right here for the buys, and they're like, all right, I'm trying to sell off their buys now. So they're trying to get out. So when they try to get out, this here will come back down. And what's going to happen here, people are going to bandwagon onto these sells, right? So you just got to look at things from the psychology perspective, right? It's all about fear and greed, right? Greed was happening right here. Fear is happening right here. People are scared because they think price will come down from the opening price. They're selling off their buys. price is likely to maybe come back down from this point. So I'll put a red line right here because we do have the reversal pattern. Like I said before, guys, I typically don't like to take I don't like to take trades on the first confirmation. I like to see a second confirmation. So what I want to see happen here is I want price to actually come down lower, maybe provide a sell signal, retrace, and come back from this point. So this is the first confirmation right here of reversal, right? Price pushed up, double body rejection. It's on the higher high. So this is a V1 variation pattern. It's against the trend though, so I wouldn't necessarily take this as a V1 variation. It is a V1 variation pattern and setup. So I typically don't like getting in on the first confluence. I wait for price to come down, retrace, come down further, maybe give me an engulfing somewhere down here, or give me a MPS V2, and then from there I'll probably take that for a sell back into the range. Right. There's no confirmation of like overall direction here anyways. If you look over here at the overall trend, nothing here is really lining up. 4 hours neutral, 1 hour is bearish, 30 minutes neutral, 10-minute is neutral, 5-minute is bullish, and 1 minute is bullish. So they're pretty mixed here. There's no overall trend bias. Breakout's still running, depending if you guys close out at the 50 or if you close out or if you just held on to it. Again, right here, price is kind of just sitting around this whole number right here at the 550 mark. The 550 price is kind of just hanging out right here. I think from here, price is going to make a decision whether it wants to come back down or whether it wants to break above and continue climbing. So looking at this here, we're obviously getting some consolidation here. Price is breaking past it. Okay, so this might be the case where the bullish confirmation continues. All right, so if this is the case here, it looks like the sells here might be invalidated. Yep. So we had a V1 variation pattern here. Price kind of consolidated a little bit and validated that sell. So the sellers never came in control here. That's why I don't like taking the first confluence or the first confirmation. I like waiting for that second one. Buyers here are still in control. They've been in control since 649. So 649 right here, engulfing, price pushes up higher. Who the next target's at? Next target is up here. All right, so one thing that I would look for here, if you guys want to get into some sort of position at this point, I would probably look for an engulfing candle confirmation to the upside. So we had huge consolidation right here, price pushed up, consolidation right here. I would look for another pattern to indicate that the buyers are still in control. I mean, obviously they're still in control here, but you want to look for some sort of confirmation. So I'm looking for price to push up, retrace, continue up higher. Or even price to push up, consolidate, push up higher. All right, basically looking for a V1 pattern, engulfing candle pattern, something to really indicate that, okay, this is a good time to enter. Right now, I don't think this is a good time to enter because I do think price is a little overextended from this point. All right, so there's a little gap right here. See how that gap happened? This shows that the buyers are still pushing price. I don't really, for the longest time, I didn't really study these, right? Really pay attention to these gaps, but these gaps, they make sense and they're important. So see how this candle right here closed above this point? And this again is a price action pattern. This shows that the candle here closed, but there were so many buyers in control here that they pushed price and they gapped up a little bit. Like there's just this little area, right? Basically a 4-point gap right there. That'd be like some slippage. Because the buyers here are still in control. They push price up. Now the sellers are trying to control here back to the downside. But we'll see what happens here with the price action. So if this candle here closes like a small red candle, and if we have an engulfing green candle following it, And this is not going to be engulfing because they didn't, this here gapped again. See how there's like little gaps here, guys? This is showing that the buyers are in control. Let me just kind of show you. So this candle closed right here, but it actually closed up here. Same with this one, right? This candle closed right here, but it actually closed up here. So these two right here are indicating that the buyers are, they're too strong. So the sellers are trying to push price down, but every time it closes down, it closes higher. So it closes right here, but it actually closed higher. It closed right here, but it actually closed a little bit higher. I'm looking at the time and sale. It's because like a lot of these last second orders, like at the very last second, you guys can see the timer over here, right? The timer says about like 14 seconds. What happens at this point is that when it gets to that very last second, the buyers they just flood in a bunch of orders and then it gaps up a little bit. So what I'm going to look for here, if I can, is I'm going to be looking for possible engulfing. So price has come back to this area here. It's retesting this consolidation zone. This is a very similar market to yesterday. It's kind of like in repeat. You guys have seen, like this is similar to what happened yesterday. We had a big consolidation zone, price pushed up a little bit, some consolidation. And then once price got to this area, like past it, it would keep retesting this consolidation zone. So it'd come here, create a new zone, push up a little bit, create a new zone, come back down, stuff like this. But we'll see. All right, we have another double body rejection here. This isn't a V1 variation because there's no low here, but there is a double body rejection. So this here is another confluence for buyers to be back in, and never mind, take that back. The candle didn't close green. So there's a doji here. This doji indicates uncertainty with the direction of price. Most guys probably know that. This just indicates an uncertainty of direction of price. So price pushed up, pushed down, doji right here, price is trying to push back up. I'm just reading each candle as they come up. Yeah, Darren said prices respecting the 5-minute trend line. Sounds like shit news, not even 100 pips. Nice. Sam over here said it's 440. So 44,437 was your buyer break and retest. Oh, nice. Like way down here. Solid, Sam. All right, let's see what's going on here. Not too much. Price is kind of just sitting around this area here where the opening price is. This opening price lines up with the same area here. It's like a break and retest, basically. Price broke and retest this area. It's pushing back up a little further. Same with this one right here. Price break and retest, push up further. Brock said, I'm starting to understand and believe that news really are still part of technicals. If you analyze the higher time frame, even as low as a 30-minute, you're in a position before news, and with perfect RR, it'll play out in your direction. So the thing with that, Brock, is that like it's hard to tell though. Price is actually going to respect it. But yeah, I agree. When I used to trade forex, I would trade news all the time, and I would just kind of hope that price would go in the direction of my technicals, and a lot of times it did. But it's always a coin toss, right? It's like you're kind of like hoping that it goes in your direction of your technicals, but it doesn't always go in that direction. But yeah, I agree with you, Brock. When I used to trade the 4-hour time frame, I would still stick to my analysis and I would hold on to the trade till through news. That was just always the way that we traded it. All right, so we got price kind of pushing up right here. Like I said earlier, this is probably going to be another area of consolidation. It's probably establishing a new area of consolidation within this area here. Not for sure, but that's kind of what it's looking like. This is so if you're basically measuring from opening price here, because market opened from here, it basically dropped from opening price here down to here. It dropped like less than 100 points. And now it's pushing up from this point, less than 100 points. So you guys can see the market inefficiencies here, right? I mean, it looks like market's moving a lot, but if you measure the actual price movement, it hasn't been moving very much at all. So market opened right here at 630, price came down about 90 points, and then now it came back up 50 points. So for the breakout, I mean, it would have hit 50 points, but if you're going for that 1 to 2, probably would have got stopped out. So I still don't trust the market conditions right now. You know, I was expecting a little more direction with Trump becoming president, but it's not really looking like it at the moment. I mean, it's still kind of sideways for the most part. Okay, so this here might be an engulfing candle, guys. This here might be an engulfing candle. This is something that I might be willing to take here. You kind of see the time and sales, who's in control of the buyers. More buyers have been sitting right here, so the buyers are still kind of holding weight. Let's take a look at the order flow. It's not very strong. Okay, never mind. I take that back. Probably wouldn't want to take anything here, at least not yet. And it's probably not going to be engulfing anyways. Yeah, it's not looking like this. So if this closed as a strong green candle, possibly would have taken it because it would have been engulfing. There'd be a lot of confirmations here that price is likely to continue up to this target right here. But no engulfing there, so no entry there as well. All right, so price is kind of just sitting here. There's the SR zones. Let me see if there's more zones up here to mark up. Not yet. Here is the clean chart. So the range here just got moved up a little higher. It was sitting down here, original range. Now sitting up here. Probably too much here. So we had a range right here, price pushed up. Another range right there. All right, so this isn't engulfing. If it was engulfing, I would have taken this here for a buy. Roll this up a little further. Volatility is not super high, 23 ATR. Again, the target here is going to be this liquidity target. If it does push up higher. Yeah, Brock said I was hoping to get a bearish momentum. We've been getting that pending momentum for a while now. So we've been waiting for this pending momentum for, I would say, about like maybe 20 minutes or so. I remember the bearish momentum came up somewhere around here. It was pending, never closed, and it just keeps appearing but not actually closing. So yeah, I want the same thing too, Brock. I want price to push it because it's been pushing up for a long time, right? So the buyers have been in control since 7 or 649. I'm looking for that retracement. I'm looking for price to actually retrace back. Even if it has to retrace down a little bit, maybe even retest opening price and then come back up higher. Because this momentum here has been active for a long time, right? It's due for it to swing the other way. Because if you look at momentum here, it typically has to swing the other way. It can't stay green forever. All right, so we're getting a double body rejection here. This is a V1 variation pattern. So this could be a reversal back to the downside. If it closes red, another thing to look out for there. Yeah, Brock said, yeah, bearish momentum, then a bullish momentum so we can buy. Just thinking it's the same exact thing. Okay, so it's still climbing here. Candle did not close red. So here's the thing, when you guys start to see these double body rejections come up, so see how it's pending right here? This is showing that the buyers are starting to lose steam. Like that's just a price action pattern, right? That's why it's a reversal pattern. Because you can see here that the steam is starting to settle right here. So the buyers have been in control for a little too long. They've been in control for almost an hour now. So at this point, the buyers are starting to get rid of their positions, and the sellers are starting to try to take control here. Even if it's for a little bit, I mean, the sellers could be in control for like a few minutes. They don't have to be in control for a very long time, right? We can look for the sellers here to push price down slightly, look for that correction back up, and then we look for our buys. All right, this candle here is it's a V1 variation plus it's engulfing. And we have a sell signal right there. There we go. And it finally closed Barak. Sell signal that we were waiting for. Let's see, visual said we are above 2-minute range. So next target most likely will be yesterday's close. Okay, got that. Yeah, so from what visual mentioned, yesterday's close is actually very high, but it's not super high. It's at 750, basically, which I could see it reach. Yeah, I agree with your analysis there, visual. I mean, it might take a while to hit. It's like 100 points away, but I could see it definitely pushing that way. All right, cool. So we have the sellers temporarily temporarily in control right here. If this candle closes green, this could be another V1 variation back up. So that's something to look out for right here. If this candle here closes green, it's another double body rejection. If it closes red, it's probably gonna push down a little bit. All right, so looking at this here, I'll just draw this box so that we can kind of see where, have a visualization of like where price was at earlier. It's basically a double consolidation area right here. Man, what a messy market. What a messy market. Just looking at the choppiness for today, and you can't see it too well here because there's so much stuff on the chart, but looking at this here, such a messy market. This here, like pretty much ranged and consolidated for about an hour, pushed up here, back into a new range consolidation. Price is pulling back here. This could be a break and retest. So basically another break and retest of the resistance, now support. Or it might even fake out. So this might be a fake out. And then you guys have seen this before, right? Price pushes up, comes down, fakes out. Basically, it looks like this is a head and shoulders now. Now that I've noticed it, this could be a shoulder right here. So shoulder, head, shoulder, push back up. It's basically a head and shoulder back up, possibly. See, a lot of people don't like head and shoulders. I was one of those people. I didn't really like looking at patterns like that because I thought they were dumb, but they do make sense because they happen very often. The head and shoulders is basically a reversal. It's a fake out reversal pattern. Like the more and more I look at it and I see it, the more and more it makes sense. All right, Brock. So this could be a possible MPS V2 to the downside. I don't know if I would take it though. It's at a red flag. So looking at this right here, Brock, this could be a possible MPS V2 to the downside, but it's right at the opening price, so I don't think it'd be a good entry. Candles are kind of dead right now too. These candles are moving too much. Yeah, Brock says he's avoiding sells. I agree. I'd rather go in the direction of the trend anyways. All right, so it looks like we're back in the consolidation zone. So looking at this here, now I'm looking at it, this could be a head and shoulders to the downside. There's like the thing is the market's consolidating so much that there's so many there's different things that can happen in the market. And you don't want to be stuck with just looking at one. So here's a shoulder, head. Like you want to be able to analyze in both directions. Obviously, I would like to take a buy here, but so we got to see if it respects this area. If it respects this neckline right here, or not neckline, but basically the shoulder line, um, you might want to be careful. This price might be swinging down. All right, we have the buy signal right here, Brock. I hope to see some volatility here, at least some volatility to really push price, up a little higher. Um, yeah, this is gonna be tricky. So there's another double body rejection here. It's a V1 variation pattern. Yeah, the head and shoulders that I just drew, guys, might be playing out. So there's a shoulder here, head, shoulder. So it pretty much respected that area right there. So I don't know. We'll have to wait. It's the thing here is that the volatility is kind of low. Yeah, this would be the fill candle like Daniel just mentioned. So this is the MPS V2. It's right at opening price though. So like, I'm trying to stay true to my red flags. I don't really want to take trades around the red flags. I guess we could follow it. I mean, I'm not going to take it here because it's at the red flag. The last time I took a trade at the red flag, I lost. So I'm not going to take any more trades at the red flags. Um, I took a trade last week at opening price, and that's like the only loss we took for the whole week. So I'll follow it here, but I'm not going to take it. That whole head and shoulders pattern played out though, so it's tricky. It is tricky. This is a shoulder, head, shoulder. This thing could come down at least a little bit to hit TP. Yep, looks like it's on its way. Volatility right now is like it's kind of low. It's not flat, but it is kind of low. 22 ATR. Generally, we would like to see it around like 25, 30. There was liquidity right here, so it came and grabbed liquidity. Liquidity right there. I'm not in this position, guys. I mean, if opening price wasn't right there, I probably would have taken it, but I'm not in the position. I'm just gonna clean this off, so I don't want you guys to think I'm in it. There's a V1 here setting up, so this is more in our favor. Got a V1 variation right there, double body, and it's engulfing. It's at opening price though, so Christian, I know you might be trying to take this entry. I just want to point that out just in case. All right, here we go. We got the buy signal finally coming up, guys. I'm now going to look for this here to provide us opportunity for that MPSV2. We have two targets sitting up here, so this is a good area to take buys. I mean, technically could have got in right here directly, but I'm gonna play it safe and just wait. Wait a little bit. All right, buyers are back in control right here. We need that sell signal here to come up. And take a look at the order flow. Yeah, sellers are getting trapped right here now as we speak. All right, so looking for this buy signal here to close. I'll take this off. I don't want you guys to think I'm in anything. The V1 variation, I'm looking for an MPS V2 though. The only problem is that now we're stuck in this consolidation zone again. So you guys can see the fake outs on both sides. Fake out, pull back, fake out, continuation. There goes that V1 variation. Looks like it already hit 20 points right there. Solid move. We need to have enough volatility here though for this buy signal to close. So the setup here might be playing out soon. Brock. I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I don't want to have anything in the way of our our entry here. So I'll be watching for it. Basically looking for price to break and close past this momentum. But you guys can see how price is stuck within this consolidation area. This consolidation range, it's respecting it pretty nicely. If it breaks out of it, fakes out, and then comes back through. So I would like this here to close red. And then possibly the next candle will push above it. So this would be nice if this here pushes past it, we get an engulfing candle, closes above this black line, and then take that for an MPS V2. Volatility is just a little low, so I don't know if we're gonna have this push to the upside yet. But best case scenario, this candle closes above this black line. It's be engulfing plus MPS V2. So I'll be watching for it right here. We got 18 seconds left on this candle. Take a look at the order flow. It's decent. Candle's closing in about 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Order submitted.
Let's see.
Order submitted.
So this thing, I don't know if this was a good entry, guys. I might have to. I waited to the last second, and I don't think it closed above it. It was like right on the dot. I might get stopped out on this. That's what I was saying about the price action. The price action here was not good, so it was bad entry. This here didn't close above it. This next one might though. So let's hold on to it. I'm looking at the time and sales. Time and sales look okay here. Let's see what's in control. Some buyers in there. So let me see where this target's at. So I need like one candle here to close above it. And I'll just make some adjustments to the TP stop loss. And it's 30 seconds left on it. Twenty seconds on it. This candle just has to close above this black line, and it'll just be a late entry. I'll make some adjustments to it. Got 10 seconds left on it. So close a little bit higher. And it's right on the line again. Making it really tough for us here. I do think price will push up and hit these targets up here though. So I'll be following it. We got 40 seconds left on this candle right here. Look at the time and sales. We have a lot of buy orders that are starting to flood in right here. So let's see if we can hold this up a little bit. 24 seconds. Yeah, Sam said it should go to the top liquidity, holding it. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's just the volatility right here is like very low, 20 points or yeah, 20 point ATR. So it looks like the entry is actually going to be where my actual entry was. Oh my God. Literally on the same line again, guys. It's having trouble getting past that area. Same thing. It was looking good and then it pulled back at the last second. So this black line right here is where the momentum's at. We wanted to close above that area. Waiting for this to close above this area here. So I can adjust this and I can adjust my TP stop loss. All right, let's see if we get some volatility here. Take a look at the time and sales. The time and sales is pretty flat. There's not really many orders coming in right now. Yeah, we're getting some buys coming in right now. It's looking good. And these candles are really, really small. There's like barely any volume right now. Yeah, Brock, could imagine if Sean found a way to put time and sale figures on the current chart. Yeah, I know. Well, if I switch to a PC, then probably at that point, it would be a lot easier and ideal. So probably my next computer might just be a PC because it just might make more sense that way. So I can trade directly on like one system versus a whole bunch. All right, so the time and sales are, I mean, they're kind of just back and forth again. They're not very much. The orders are, you can tell here, like just by looking at the candles here, there's not really much going on. The time and sales are just going back and forth. They're not big orders. They're kind of just going back and forth slowly. We still haven't closed above this black line. And price is still sitting at this upper level consolidation zone. And the volatility is really flat right now. We are getting closer at 8 o'clock, so the volatility it tends to die down around this point, but this is like each candle here is super, super flat. Like these candles just had to get flatter on our entry. All right, so we got price again right here trying to break past it. We got about 5 seconds left on this candle. Again, it just keeps closing at that same black line, guys. I don't know if it's a good coincidence. Like we just pinpoint a specific price carry that can't get broken? Okay, I find it really unusual that it's like it's having trouble getting past just this one line right here. See, I'm seeing a bunch of buy orders here on the time and sale, so it's trying to, I mean, it's trying to hold the push to the upside. Let me check over here real quick, see what it's looking like on the bigger orders. It looks like it's trying to lure in sellers, so it's trying to lure in sellers thinking that the breakout's happening to the downside, but I think it's going to swing back up. There's no news right now, no catalyst. I know, Sam, it's playing with us, right? All right, so I'm looking up, I mean, there's no analysis here right now because the candles are so small. There's no engulfing, there's no V1s, there's like nothing really here to there's nothing here really pointing where price is going. It's pretty much just it's like straight consolidation at this point. Let's see. I mean, what it seems like here is it's trying to lure in some sellers. So I see these big red candles where it's trying to lure in sellers. Or what I can see here as well is I've seen people kind of get rid of their buys. I think people are getting scared. It's a lot of fear in the market right now. So people are whoever was taking the buys here with us, basically, they're kind of like, they got scared. So what they're doing is they're selling off, they're getting rid of their positions. Um, but it's not enough to really push price to the downside. If we get a V1 right here, this could be a confirmation. So if this candle here closes green, we can get a V1 variation pattern right there. The problem is that the volatility is so low. So, I mean, if anything, it might be like a very last second push up again. The last second green candle. We got 10 seconds left on this candle right here. Here we go. So we got is it a V1? Okay, so we got a V1 there. That's a good sign. It's the first reversal pattern we can see here. I don't know if it'll hold, but that was like one of the one confluence to indicate that this here is going to swing back up. I mean, if it stops me out, it stops me out. It's no big deal. I take half risk on these positions anyways. Let's see. So I'm still in the position. So my position's still active. I'm like down here. I mean, technically, if you got in exactly at that point, we're gonna stopped out, but you can see my position's still active right here. I mean, I didn't even get good entry. My entry was like a little higher. I got some slippage. All right, let's see if this swings up. Are you still in it, bro? Are you out of it, Brock? I'm still in it. Volatility is it's just super flat. Looking for that breakout to the upside. Now, what's going on? There's like a lot of big gaps in price right now. So like this here is pushing down and gap down like pretty hard right here. There is it's like a 4 point gap. I don't know what's up with the market today. It's the volatility is like it's obviously not there. And I'm seeing like a lot of gaps back and forth with these candle closes. It's like the candle is moving, and at the very last second, the candle like spikes, right? Because the countdown's right here, like the minute candle. You'll see the candle kind of push down, and then at the last second, it just ends up dropping another 4 points. So yeah, the market's horrible. It's a messy market. I mean, we're technically trapped in this consolidation zone right here. What it seems like we're really just trapped in this consolidation zone. Price came back down earlier. It tested that consolidation zone, and see if we get back up. Yeah, Christian said, "Wow, this market is horrible. I'm still in it. Still in it as well." Brock said, "This is messy. It all started with a weekend gap on into Monday." Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's NFP week too. There's just so many different factors that are causing. I mean, we knew the market was going to be weird this week. I didn't think it was going to be like this though. Like I was expecting, okay, some choppiness, maybe some whipsaws, maybe some back and forth, but not like um this where it's just super flat. Are you still in it, Sam? Oh, Sam's out already. Okay, so Sam got off for 10 points. This trailing stop got hit. It's waiting for this here to kind of push a little bit. Yeah, okay. Nikki said the Fed speaks at 11. Let's check the news for today, actually. So we got Fed Bostic speaking right here at 8 o'clock. We have Fed Daily speaking at 11. Fed Jefferson speaking in the afternoon. So yeah, we got Fed Bostic speaking over here at 8 o'clock, coming up soon. I mean, I don't think this is why the market's staying flat, but I mean, I guess you could have some sort of factor in. Like, I'm trying to look at the time and sales, but there's just not very many orders coming in. We have a bunch of buy orders that just flooded in right now, so this looks like it's going to push up at least a little bit. Zero entries at 90. So I'm trying to get out right here at like 92. I can. Like out of it at this point. Yeah, there's not enough orders really pushing price around. I'm looking at the time and sales. Price is trying to push, but there's just not enough volume. I mean, there's a lot of buyers that are coming in, a lot of sellers. They keep pinging off each other. Like we'll get like a cluster of buyers come in and a cluster of sellers, and I got stopped out. It's
Order
okay.
filled.
It's all good. I mean, like I said, this is just one of those days where the market's kind of all over the place. All right, so loss for today. That's all good. It's shake it off for this week. Hopefully next week's gonna be a lot better. But this here was, I mean, it's just one of those trades that just took forever. All right, so no problem there. Setup was okay, but you obviously can see over here everything kind of just, or actually the setup wasn't okay. This wasn't a good entry. This was, I'm gonna put this on the notes too. Say enter too early. Entered too early. Candle did not close past momentum. Choppy, consolidating market. It's all good. This was my bad. This trade shouldn't have been taken, but when it was closing, it looked good. Like this candle here looked like it was gonna close above. I closed it at like the very second mark, and then at that point it ended up closing right below it. So I mean, it is what it is. This is just type of market that we're dealing with today. Very choppy, very consolidation. I mean, there's just a lot of consolidation here. If you look at my markups for today, we had all of this range right here, consolidation for about an hour. Price pushed up, some consolidation, and it pretty much just consolidated around this middle area throughout the whole I guess another hour. We had an hour of consolidation, price broke up a little bit, another hour of consolidation right here. So yeah, Sam's, it happens, bro. It's your entry. As a trader, we can follow our plan and rest is market. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing I could have really. I was trying to get out right here for like a little bit for it to push back up, but that's okay. We'll make it back tomorrow. The good thing is that I'm taking half risk on these trades. So the risk that I take on these specific positions is that I'm aiming to take 2 trades a day. So instead of risking my full amount, I'm only risking about half. So not a big deal. But all right, I think that's it for the day, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll come back here tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow's market's gonna be a lot better. Tomorrow we have news at 5:15 pre-market, ADP unemployment change. We have S&P Global Services PMI at 6:45, which is inflation news. And then we have ISM Services PMI at 7 o'clock, which is also inflation news. 2 news events right after open. And then hopefully from there, the market will be moving a lot more smoother compared to today. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the